Hi, this is John, and today we have another piano tutorial, but this time we are taking a piano solo. In the past, I've been teaching piano accompaniment patterns where you play the piano sing, but I'm going to take a few songs and turn them into solos. Now this is a level 2 piano solo. Now before we get started, I want to mention that you really should download the link, click on that link, download the sheet music to this lesson and print it up, and you'll have copies of all the material I am teaching. And then get a plastic document protector, put it in the document protector, and then put it in a 3-ring notebook like this. So now the other thing about some of these musical tutorials and solos that I am putting out for free printing is I'm using the letter notes, or they're called alpha notes, and this is where you put the name of the note, which is a letter name. You put the letter name of the note in the head of the note. It makes it really easy to know what that musical notation is. So it says letter C, letter E, letter F, letter G. It's embedded right there in the head of the note. Now for single notes, it's not too difficult to identify musical notation. But when it comes to chords, people do have a hard time trying to understand what chord it is or what notes make up the chord. So I use the alpha notes so you can recognize the chords better. Now one thing about this song we're taking is When the Saints Go Marching In. And this is a level 2 song, level 2. I'll put out some level 1 songs, and we'll go level 3, level 4, all the way up to level 10. But right now we're taking a level 1 and level 2. And but before we actually begin the song, When the Saints Go Marching In, as a piano solo, I want to talk about the cadence. Now this is in the key of C, and I've talked about this over and over again. You need to learn to play the cadence for every key signature. Now there are cadences for the major keys and cadences for the minor key. And this song, When the Saints Go Marching In, is in the key of C major. So the 3 chords for C chord, C major cadence would be C chord, F chord, G chord. That's the 1-4-5 chord. And so download the sheet music. You can see the chords. It tells you root position, second inverted position, root position, first inverted position, and root position. So let me review this really quickly here. So in the left hand you have your root position C, and then you go to F over here in the second inverted position, back to C in the root position, then G in the first inverted position, back to C in the root position. So it's C, F, C, G, C. Now the fingering is pinky. In the root position, it's the pinky, middle, thumb. Now when you go to F in the second inverted position, the fingering changes. It's pinky, index finger, thumb. Then back to C in the root. Now when you go to G in the first inverted position, the fingering is the same as the root. It's pinky, middle, thumb. So only the F chord has a different type of fingering for the left hand. So C and G have the same fingering. But C and F, the F has a different fingering. You have to use your index finger on F. Should be able to do that pretty fast. Now you want to be able to do that for every chord. D flat, D chord, E flat chord, so you want to do this for all the keys. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different keys. So that'd be 12 major chords, and then you have 12 minor chords, which would be 24 altogether. But then you take 3 times 24, which would be 72, and you have 72 cadences you have to learn. Why? Because the first cadence starts in the first position of the C chord. Then the next type of cadence would be starting a C chord in the first position. And then the third type of cadence would be C chord starting in the second inverted position. So a C chord has 3 different types of cadences. And so we know there's 24 chords, major and minor, and each chord has a different stage. Either it starts in the root or the first or second inverted position. So 3 times 24 would be 72. 72. Don't worry about it. You can learn that because it's a pattern, and the pattern transfers over to everything. Okay, so now let's take the song. And so you have your sheet music, you downloaded this, and you have your letter notes. Now, the song When the Saints Go Marching In is pretty easy to play because all of the melody notes are the first 5 notes of a C major chord. And those first 5 notes are C, D, E, F, and G, which makes it really easy because you don't have to move your hand around. Your hand can stay static right there in that position. So the melody goes like this. Okay, I'm playing that by ear, but if you had a metronome or if you were counting out loud, it'd be like this. Rest, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can play it cut time. Cut time, it means you'd have 2 beats per measure. So now, the left hand. What is the left hand doing? Now, something interesting about this solo, and the reason why it's a level 2 instead of a level 1, is because the left hand is going to play a 1 to 4 chord jump. A 1 chord to a 4 chord jump. It's like this. And you hear this jump in the gospel music. They call it the gospel jump. And you hear it also in rock and roll, you hear it in popular music, you hear it everywhere. And you're just going from the 1 chord and just jumping over to the 4 chord for a brief amount of time. And it gives the song a rhythm, it gives the song flavor. Now this has a really simple 1 chord, 4 chord jump in it, makes it really easy to play. So if you look at measure 2, the 1 to 4 jump is like this. 1, 2, I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we stay on that F chord for only 1 beat. It's a 3rd beat. And it's enough to give more variety to the song. It's enough to give more flavor. It's enough to give more rhythm to the song. Instead of just holding the chord, playing that same chord for that 1 measure. Now in measure 4, we have the same jump. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in measure number 8, instead of going from C to F, we're going from G to C. Now how is G to C a 1 to 4? Well, here's G, and the fourth note up from a G would be 1, 2, 3, C chord. So now we're playing G here like that. So that's how that works. Now, so measure number 8, you counter it out loud like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, G chord, C chord, G chord. So let's try this song. We'll play it slow at first. We'll play it 4/4 time. cut time. Okay, so work on that, have fun with that, and I think on the next solo we will do the same thing with Amazing Grace, and we will use the 1 to 4 bump in our left hand with solid chords. Now you can use that bump, you know, it's in a lot of the patterns that I've showed you before. For example, so you can intermingle this bump into a lot of different of the static chords patterns. You know, where you have a pattern playing the same chord within the, where you have a pattern playing the same chord, but even though it's the same chord, you can throw that little bump in there to give it more flavor. Okay, this is John signing off, and you all have a blessed day, and we will see you next time with Amazing Grace and as a piano solo. Bye-bye for now.